okayfm 101.7.
Lawyer Kwame Adofo, a private legal practitioner. Counsel me watch. Now, counsel bako there.
Uni ahoye na ozwe.
Bezo mo bako pa. Counsel we there ye bedi mremu nkomo kakra. Na mremu nkomo a ye bedie no. Eni say ye maami Tokonu, former Chief Justice. Eja Fofi Antwata no adware abamo. Sese yeyi no a wonka eyifo ho biem, George fo ho biem. Na yesi wasan aba court. Na pacho eyede bentia.
Mini ama menchew. Kwame na menchew bushafo ne wafifo ne. Wadwumfo ne wotiefo. Ne obi achi. Manya bi akan na menya bi kan no ni nyina so a odi aba court enyina ne se complaint ana omo meki en etiaro no na omo se yenyina di as chief justice na committee etie no na committee ni si yenyina di as chief justice na babie ni kwa omo recommendation no so eba recommendation yenyi na di as chief justice as well as an ordinary justice of the Supreme Court. Enti warrant na president sign edi na di as chief justice as well as an ordinary justice of the Supreme Court law. Enye papa is null and void. The reason here all kasa say so person you need as ordinary Supreme Court judge. Procedure also following a different. And so person you need as a chief justice procedure is different. Now procedure here more fast no. Procedure you fast need as chief justice only. And you the same procedure as say befaso as ordinary judge of the Supreme Court. And the announcement is a president unity from both officer president and then officer court signal is warrant no sign. Now term void. And he gave me no.
Now, Wadaruma, Mamimre, Article 128 of the 1902 Constitution. Now, head in here, composition and mode of exercise of power of judiciary. Now, Mekanya Jebia Ebebuan Kumbi was said the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. 2. The Supreme Court shall be duly constituted for its work, not less than 5 Supreme Court judges, except as otherwise provided in Article 133. Now, before no, as a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he has high moral character, proven integrity, and is of not less than 15 years standing. Now, Bibisa say, see you Chief Justice are distinct from say ordinary justice now.
Well, Sadama America, but me, I don't agree with that position. India America say, I don't agree with that position. They say, what kind article ya kind? I'm say 128 now kind.
128 here.
What kind requirement no? We a person of good character, fitness, proper, and so on. In addition, you must have 15 years at least as a lawyer. What I say?
Mm-hmm.
Which means once you have 15 years, you can be appointed straight to the Supreme Court as a Chief Justice.
Straight. Every woman from Court of Appeal, High Court, no
yes, you can be appointed straight as a Chief Justice. It is here.
Aye, Mamma Mawadie, Rollins time. Who's a Okofa, Yamame, Sofa, Wafua Kufana. Our appointee will be straight from Legon to the Supreme Court. It is the 4 years.
Na Kulendi.
Kolendi.
He appointed him straight as ordinary lawyer, straight to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Nipa bebree wo ha appointed him straight to the Supreme Court. And you know the nyanwanwa. And we and okra fi wa. Nipa ya appointed him straight to the Court of Appeal. And you say once you meet those requirements, that's over 15 years standing at the bar, you're a person of good higher moral conduct and so on. We can appoint you straight to the Supreme Court as a Chief Justice. And they say, that position here, I better hui. So, I'm with my appointee, with my snowball, all the other judges. So, appointee will be straight from the bar to become a Chief Justice. The law allows you that. It is a appointed straight, that's what the Chief Justice are. Automatically, we are part of the Supreme Court.
Me too, pa.
It is a sakeo as Chief Justice. The sakeo from the Supreme Court as well.
Yeah, per even the 128 now, Chimmy. Me too, law.
Not visit your workers.
There be, me say, and at said ye, Yatron war 128,
Exactly. It me appoint you straight, my Chief Justice here. Then, what is stopping you being sacked straight as a Chief Justice? And therefore, you are no longer a chief. What is it called? Supreme Court judge. And to make me feel say, but if you look at the Chief Justice application or challenging the warrant itself, to me, President Ignacio, and what challenging. So for technical grounds, if it's a technical knockout, also it means everything is a nullity.
But then I say, I'm saying the problem. Me read the idea the problem with the committee set up. Say, committee I'm saying, powers of a lower court to be a. And he said, "Well, to me educate on a matter." A Chief Justice matter. And I'm okay.
You see, and I know, Kwame. Maybe to say, committee, almost standards as to what amounts to stated misconduct. You see, but that may not be what amount to stated misconduct.
The kahana mi bebu sase. Sa committee no one. Almost strength almost strength of a high court. And now strength of what? Strength of
they don't have a strength of anything.
Oh,
their decision can even be quashed by the high court. And it's just an ordinary committee who just make recommendations. So if the high court finds that their recommendation is devoid of any the high court can quash it.
And then it is a committee any bibia wa mremua. I beka say okay, committee when has the powers of a high court.
No.
Therefore, be adjudicate this matter. It's deemed to be say a high court decision. When you be answer,
there be. Now even if this is where it's interesting. Even if they have the powers of high court, it doesn't make them a high court. People get confused. Say, electoral commission is equivalent to a court of appeal judge. That doesn't mean electoral commission is a high commission is a court of appeal judge.
My memo example, be a teacher ni, and I'm a senior superintendent of in teaching. Sir, you can say, oh, can you oppose moi and can you say that doesn't make me a police officer.
Thank you. The same thing. We don't have electoral commissioner. Then we have had various people occupying electoral commission position. For example, yes, the position is equivalent to what? A court of appeal judge. But But he's not a trained lawyer. It doesn't make him a court of appeal judge. But it is only in relation to the remuneration, the pay, the salary, the conditions, and they are equivalent to the court of appeal judge. But the fact that you are equivalent doesn't mean you are. And people who are without legal qualifications are also able to occupy those positions. So what does it, Kwame? Hello.
The batch was super.
Aha. It's say no. What about back to where committee no? Even if they are equivalent to a high court, it will not make them a high court. Their decisions will still be subject to being quashed by a high court. Now, let's say committee na I recommend this in you because of what you did amount to stated misconduct.
Misbehavior. Stated misbehavior no. Committee no. One terms of reference no. That
defined is not defined anywhere.
And if so, you can't put something on nothing.
Yes, it is stated misbehavior. No, material is what refer to ordinary dictionary.
How?
I don't think I will release it report here.
But stated misbehavior. Maybe okochoba. We hear the way I know OCD no twa kontomo do. Chief Justice ni say twa kontomo ha wani. E be me mistake.
Ana say wo no obi kosia o ge ho. Autocracy. Thank you. So that amounts to stated misbehavior. You see, that's how fallacious the whole system is. Total grand scheme. And it's there has to be a defined meaning of stated misbehavior. If you do this,
but so what can say? What to quine no? Then it's what they when A B C D co.
Now, how does that amount to stated misbehavior when all previous CJs have also enjoyed the same privileges? And in there, we revoke all their retirement packages retrospectively. What did they say?
Me too, pa, council.
It's me who say, the Chief Justice is testing the technicality aspect. But the actual assembly, what is the meaning of stated misbehavior? Is it in the eyes of the committee or in the eyes of the law that existed? You see, you cannot be guilty of an offense which is not already stated as an offense. So for you to be charged and found guilty of an offense, that offense must have already been stated.
Say what finance more, accounting more. Make sure 3,000. Make sure 3 no. And my 3 commas, comma. And matro 00 another comma. Uba in a country prison a meaningless. It's undefined. And can we?
That's right. That's right.
And can be I said one some pointing. Now matro 3 my double inverted. Ever 3 no matro 000. Undefined and can be.
That's right. That's right. Kwame, we know I have a problem with committee no view. Eyes. In their eyes. This amount is stated misbehavior. I have a problem with that. So if the committee is prejudiced already, they'll crucify you and me. Because any food there of what amounts to stated misbehavior. Any baby judge. It's anybody but what who say you are finished. So what did they can say?
Me too, pa.
That is the problem, and I think the honorable CJ should be going after them in their eyes. No? How can you say because in your eyes you see traveling with my daughter as stated misbehavior when there's no law saying that if I travel with my daughter it's a stated misbehavior? That is where they should be challenging it. Because who want to know will be ne but to choir a misbehavior. Now, no girlfriend to choir, are you okay? And you are using that to judge me because the whole view is different. Community expensive. Look, Kwame.
Yeah, no.
The way we are brought up. Say me. Will be from different regions. I mean, who thinks differently?
Yes, exactly.
Depending on where you were raised and how you were brought up. What did I make?
Me too, pa.
Okay, me and as a lawyer, Abrofo could not understand why before we'll be grouping.
Nana, the okay, Krano, Article 1911 of the 1902 Constitution. 19 clause 11 was no person shall be convicted of a criminal offense unless the offense is defined and the penalty for it is prescribed in a written law.
Thank you. On what basis? And as a committee, reach a conclusion said the mammy stated misbehavior. When you have traveled with your daughter and there's no such law pre-existing saying that if you travel with your daughter is an offense. Come on. This is the problem. And I'm a example. And Abrafo could not even understand why a group of people will group in front of a shop. But I was able to explain to them, say, before no, yet me group ending komokeke.
Yeah, call.
If the police need bad, move on we have not committed any offense. The fact that we are grouping is something unique to our community. But because they don't do that thing, they were finding it difficult to understand. People 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But because I was able to put my community view into perspective to explain it to the white people.
Papa, yenle ade we clear. Enti in he any define stated misbehavior as what and the penalties thereof.
Nowhere. No law. There's no law either in the criminal books in the constitution. Nowhere. So I hear say open resort to dictionary the definition. I didn't do that. I didn't release the report to the Yahoo. I didn't go
and related to even common law, cra.
There's no law anywhere. It is a release the report to the Yahoo. How did they get their definition of stated misbehavior? How? Definition bed, open your hand. It is a word here. And because I believe the chief justice should challenge even the actual findings. No one that said material.
Mekaisa chachuchi kata ebra ye dina semwa ye can say ye be court no kwani friends e professional court no fast track
court.
So there is nowhere in a status no constitution ma ya twa baby say fast track court.
That's right. What challenge here?
Mekaipa.
What challenge here? That's the misbehavior. I'm confessing him. How not no? I'm hoping that the chief justice will challenge that. You see, the reason why I'm hoping she will do that, they say, or maybe a menu so. Maybe Saba will be person the DA. If it's not defined as a stated misbehavior, how can you then reach a conclusion? Say, my name is Batu Kwaya, a stated behavior. Now, my name is girlfriend to Kwaya, are you okay?
Me so no kwa me kwa. Me ne me de kwa koma you know wo mom hwe ho aye ho adwuma no wo maka asansen e de amame
wo mo kwa de be katro say you are entitled to travel with ABC or D.
Wonim say wo mo sase no wo mo de ba ko bi ko ese maame no agi sika bi ene wo say mpa atwa me ko e kra me spendi say dia kan nam de bae bubo ba no so wo mo de sa de no ba no mo twe no sai.
Aye. The whole idea say Nipanika obey you, woman in Gary Grawa obey you. But that doesn't make it correct in law. So we as legal researchers or chasers, we should be chasing for the right thing to be done. And that is fine. Show us where you got the definition for stated misbehavior. And from what I'm hearing, they got it from the dictionary. How? When the dictionary is not an offense.
Now, maybe I told me bow. Even so, Konyan was dictionary more etymologically. Ubetimianya different dictionaries are different things.
True.
Because the origin of the word in terms go to etymologically, no. Origin of that word, no. Beginning of Quran Tisa. Because Makonya book of etymology, Ediaba, define meaning. Whereby quarantine and a quarantine. A Latin word meaning 40.
That's right.
And then Ediaba, my cousin, a quarantine where you could see.
Yes.
Some book of etymology be defined. And come on, I say.
Now, I'm going to say, yeah, science as an ML law.
Oh, yes, science student.
Yeah, me engineering as an ML law.
Hey!
Aha. There were terminologies here. Kwame, there were alpha, beta, and so on. Alpha is actually originally a Greek word.
Greek word.
Abba, say beginning in English word.
English word. I'm alpha and omega.
Aha. It is the one when you not rely on only the recent dictionary for interpretation, for explanation or definition. You end up getting it so wrong.
Oh.
What was wrong with the American? It's maybe if you say, but we have on reflection. There's something that I'm beginning to understand from Chief Justice's application of the Akwi. Application waka womu say ABC ne report no nensankai.
Hey.
ABC ne the so-called
eti me kurano ade be na maya ye de yi minim.
So maybe if she gets that report, she may then go after what they mean by stated misbehavior, which is the key, is the heart of everything.
Hey, baby, what about accounting more? You can reconciliation. Different from say, what you say abaya to reconciliation committee. The word, no, a beer contextually, no, a beer.
Yes. And I wouldn't. Kwame the ma assembly hard gonna kakra say. Even you people who are minimum accounting, so auditor, baby auditor, almost exit conference of no ye.
Sure.
To tell you the for you to present your responses.
Sanity.
Now, Mami, it's a mature reporter. Why haven't you given her a copy of that report?
Say answer,
Yes.
One side, One side,
a bit in there. You haven't given.
Say written responses.
Yes. A bit in there. So-called committee, President Muhammad, a report, Imano. So how is he able to challenge it if it's wrong? And on what is the Jubilee household? So, what did they say?
Meet you, pa.
So the question is not about her application, the merit of it per se, because she doesn't have the actual report. That is why she's probably going along this warrant line. Now the second report now, she would then be able to make a decision. These people got it wrong. And I'm surprised that from 1st September and they're saying 19th.
In the 19th.
Now in Sanka, copy of the report. Why? When it's no longer confidential. You've already come and spoken. Matisha say a lawyer for the petitions over the weekend. Give you interview my KSM. Cesaria, why don't you release the report in fairness to the woman? Then we would see how you got the definition of stated misbehavior.
Now, Lori, me did this near maybe a while. Ebi amo so no amo belong to the judiciary and officers of the court no. Me say near maybe wa mo amo belong to the judiciary and then mo officers of the court no. Mo ye hwe ha dodo. Me kai ma me George na wood pen so. Enna anas koye expose. Expose no na video bi aba na obi disca bi ato obi table so. Na nipa ne nkasa na obi na error ne commentary ne de gina so ayi nkrofo adi motena ho hwedi 146 wo ho whereby a quasi judicial activity that is article 146 na president gina so no aye so nkrofo aye ka se obi exercise sa ayi no a as a president na empo onye legal officer ye here subsidiary legislation BCIB whatever LIB to regulate the action. To say there be a criminal code no ye wo procedure no e wo ho a regulate sack in criminal code no adan na mo atena wa chesa ama sa na nyina ekoso even George na wood person will be the video bi buy a na gina video no sa ampo waje aponchi ye yinedi
Kwame
no
the president of the Ghana Bar Association.
Hey, Mami Gati.
Fair. Why? Maybe they have an explanation for us. Maybe I am only a little fish trying to explain to you my understanding of the law.
Yeah.
But why are you why are you surprised? Yes, sorry, one. Yeah. The two oboko. I said, upon Chintopato. It is you, be up in one man, yes, it is you oboko. No, be a coffee. This is a serious legal vacuum. It can happen again.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that it is not allowed to continue. Because, Chief Justice Robber, not to a man, Gary Grawa. Be bad, also be bit because there's no such definition of certain misbehavior.
Do you answer or be a petition?
And now said, do you answer what baby no Guinness back? No, be a actual letter, but oh, Madam Chief Justice, oh, good home. We have Guinness to accredit it. And the way amount to stated misbehavior. No, they are going to ask in the committee. No one point on one dominant level. I would miss all town. Don't watch the crew because the woman report. And by I was with them near you. The report to Nana, the report the unity. It's the unity.
William Shakespeare, ni book Julius Caesar no. ABC wom conspirators na ba ko bi omu aye fe no Casca. Enti bra wom wo Julius Caesar sekan na meeting ne ba ye no. And now, one more conspirators in the Kumo Shia Bako. No, say, I am not Casca the conspirator. I am Casca the poet. I'm saying, yeah, tear him up for his bad verses.
Maybe I want to know.
Oh.
Maybe I want to know. But if you say, that stated misbehavior, no, that's a big problem.
Maybe I just admit, Brofuno was here. I didn't ya state you.
Yes.
Yes. And what penalties to be suffered if someone
black and white.
Yes.
Otherwise, it makes no sense for you to say stated misbehavior. Now we are saying you go for the dictionary meaning of stated misbehavior. How?
Washrooms in the emu and the woho. Yenfa a mad moho, Yenfa be mad moho. Na makwakwa wura ba akumu a oba ya say hey wa wura ma dem stated misbehavior na me bi say say ehin na bo say me ma de na ehin na bo say ma de say debi oba na na say ohun say ade left in the be ma de
I don't know what kind of in our legal terms ought to have known He ought to have known. Hey, he ought to have known something that doesn't exist. Is that what you're saying?
We are say ignorance of the law is not excuse, but it's no excuse. But I'm running ho.
So how can you reasonably be expected to ought to have known? You see, that is what the terms we use now. Either you know or you ought to have known. That's the legal expressions we take. And as I can say, ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's you ought to have known that you are not allowed to do this. You ought to have known that this is a stated misbehavior. Meanwhile, there's no such thing as stated misbehavior.
I see. Matthias,
it is application of Kodiako to say it's because he doesn't have a copy of the report at this stage. He also doesn't have a copy of the so-called prima facie case you people say you made against him, president made against him. So how is he supposed to challenge the decision? He can only challenge it by getting a copy, and that's what she has stated in her affidavit. So she doesn't have a copy, even today. So she can only come after the warrant. Which is purely technical in nature. And I'm going to say, that's why my position is, once you can be appointed straight to become a chief justice, you can be dismissed straight from as being a chief justice.
But sadly, a brain is it not ripe enough? Say, Mobasi Samu, chief justice because me say, you will be a lecturer at the university, where a lawyer, and now when you lecturer, where a lawyer. Now on true judgment in Puda. Obi okra no fi kra na won ta nkokọ to kra no ne ade ade anti when you practicing lawyer na yes you betimi appointing straight to chief justice make old Elizabethan English was it whither are we drifting?
Yes, the law allows that. Yes. And you go why when you are academic and you go there, you have to rapidly learn the procedure, courtroom practice, and so on. But in terms of the knowledge there, you may have it. But practice and procedure, no, this always quickly.
No, quickly, do I say?
I have no idea. And even it comes with experience working in practitioners, no. See any academics, teachers, in your classroom, they are usually in trouble. Because traditionally, they have shoes soon now to see no so no proper hunting. You know all the loopholes. Ya bro obi a wonye onfa mu no. Oba follow into the name I show 10, 20 years ago no. What is the best thing? That's a fact.
I
because
see.
On your practitioner. What is it?
Hello. Me ba try no cry amiti opa.
But the law allows academics to be appointed.
Oh wow!
And some of them are brilliant. Professor Datebasi, he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Wow!
And Professor, if you want to say, definitely, for retirement. Also, professor.
Yeah.
Very excellent thinker.
Oh, okay.
In terms of my media, these are some report also. Exactly the would do but to acquire a certain misbehavior.
Yeah, me am say o man ye running adversarial system. Eti ebire bi kura na se kata nanimu. Me busa me ho question say me na anase ni me anya. Na me ba court ni say me pa cho di pa na me ni nya no o wei. Mo say the nipa me yansan ba be gina ho. Adanu me sa do me kan say judicial concept pa. Di pa na me ni nya no wei.
We are okay. Trials. One of the trials. Is it Kwame or somebody?
Kwame Adofo.
Court ruling say okay. In chambers, you can reveal your face to the person. No, but courtroom, Anas declined to testify. So what are they? So, but I mean, in terms of my media, I think we have to release the report.
But in the vein of even Commonwealth law, Australia, UK, Ghana, whatever you're practicing, where and na me adversary no, meaning in yasem. Court allow me say, Obaka to him. Na judge no grade dia some crowd, so be in him. Allow these things to happen.
I am unprecedented. Who be in the history of this world. Meaning, say, you can be given opportunity to see or have the hearing in camera, just to protect the person. But never a situation here. Never. Never. But what they could do is you can take you to a room. Only a corbedia dance.
Obia send him to be Musase. Now Ghana maybe as the Supreme Court relied on the black dictionary.
You see, the courts do refer to meanings in a legislation.
Okay.
Ever said there's a legislation and it says, for example, Biamau, off the top of my feet, I'm thinking for my feet. There's a legislation and there's a word and there's a meaning that we are looking for. With the already existing law in the form of a legislation and you have a meaning of the word. So what is the mechanism? Then the court can refer to the meaning of.
Because there is a legislation.
Yes.
There is a provision in our constitution. Can't be a word be a boom. Contextually, no, in the context of law, no, you have a dictionary, near the compare the actual no. Yes.
Yes. But not where there is no such law.
Okay.
So this is the difference. The don't refer to black law. Me, I was using the Macquarie dictionary. But black law, English law, if you are in Ghana, we do refer to the black law dictionary. But it's within the context of where there is an existing legislation. Whether you have committed an offense per the law, per the existing legislation, then you refer to the dictionary meaning of it. I'll get some of the words. But where there's no such law, making what you have done a criminal offense, how then do you go for a dictionary to come and explain to you something that doesn't exist? So if there was, for example, law of you or her, I stated the meaning of stated misbehavior. And in one of them, it says, womanizing. If you are found womanizing, it amounts to stated misbehavior. Thank you. And then I'll say, okay, what is the meaning of womanizing? Then I'll go and grab the dictionary for the meaning of womanizing. So what I say? Because there's already an existing law. And you are seeking to understand what that law means. So within the existing law, any man found womanizing can be found guilty for stated misbehavior. Then Kwame will say, womanizing doesn't mean I have one woman. Womanizing doesn't mean I have a wife and I have girlfriend. This one will say, no. What is the meaning of womanizing? Then we go and look for the meaning of womanizing. To come and explain the existing law. Kwame, what is the mechanism? Now we have a stated misbehavior. In the context of what? There's no law.
Me can be for history of common law. Sir, you see around 1066 or thereabout. One buy one be say, okay, and near my way, wɔn ankasa de bu wɔn mmara ɛne yɛn kurukyire mmara nkrataa mu na yɛn fama yɛn sɛ efi na ɛkɔ wɛnum yagye atum ɛyɛ mmara bia wɔn anya ntum no ɛno no woyɛ yɛntumi nyɛ obi bia because mmara bia ni hɔ a yɛde bɛdie tia wɔ aka sɛ mpa wobu so a wo penalties anaa woto so sika a wobɛtua anaa wobɛ akɔda mu mfie sei ɛni hɔ.
Correct. It is how then do you go for dictionary to come and explain something that doesn't exist as amounting to stated misbehavior? Kwame is also the mechanism. And this is a example. No, if it's already there, black and white say the following are stated misbehavior, fine, and then within the list of the ones that they say stated misbehavior, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, no. Marcus says, if a chief justice is found womanizing, that constitutes a stated misbehavior. And then I would challenge it and say, the meaning of womanizing is not what you people think it is. Then we go to the dictionary, grab the dictionary, and then see the definition of womanizing within the context. The definition of womanizing in the dictionary and bring it within the context of existing law. But what there's no existing law making any behavior misbehavior. How then do you go for the dictionary to come and explain something that doesn't exist? So that is my answer to the person who sent you the message.
Okay.
That you don't use dictionary to create an offense and commit somebody or convict somebody for it. You don't do that. You use dictionary to come and explain the existing law, which is now being contested. This person say this is the meaning of this, the other person say this is the meaning of it. Says, okay, let's go and see the meaning of womanizing, for example. Then you bring it to come and situate it within the existing law. But when there's no such regulation explaining the meaning of stated misbehavior. And therefore, for you to resort to dictionary is wrong.
Law, mami na wasina mi senya mpamfa ma. The law is the law.
Always the law. When you are in doubt, always follow the law.
Ba ku bi amede kan ho kra ne say the verdict is the truth and the truth is the verdict. Say no kra no an de court no aka na mboa. Lo me da say. Lawyer Kwame Adofo a private legal practitioner. Any ayene no atwetwe enkomo no na oba
OKFM 101.7